Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something really special for all my Aries out there. And I have to say, when I pulled these cards for you, the energy was intense. We're diving into a question that I know has been weighing on so many of your hearts lately. Are you being divinely protected from this person? And Aries, I need you to really tune in right now because what came through in this reading is absolutely profound. Before we get into the cards, I just want you to take a deep breath with me. Whether you're watching this at 3 in the morning because you can't sleep, or you're on your lunch break trying to make sense of everything, the universe led you here for a reason. There's someone on your mind right now, someone you've been questioning, someone you've been trying to understand. And the cards are about to reveal some truths that might completely shift your perspective. All right, Aries, let me tell you what happened when I sat down to do this reading. The moment I shuffled the deck, I could feel this protective energy surrounding the cards. It was like the universe was saying, listen carefully, because what we're about to show you is crucial for your journey right now. And I have to be honest, some of what came through gave me actual chills. So the first card that practically jumped out of the deck for you is the Ten of Wands. And wow, Aries, can we just talk about this for a second? This card is showing me that you've been carrying so much weight when it comes to this person. I'm seeing you constantly trying to make things work, constantly trying to fix things, constantly being the one who puts in all the effort. You know what I'm talking about, right? Those nights where you're lying awake wondering if you said the right thing, if you did enough, if maybe you could have tried harder. This card is showing me someone who has literally been burdened by this connection. And here's what's really interesting about the Ten of Wands appearing first. This isn't just about emotional weight. I'm getting that you've been carrying their problems, their mood swings, their inconsistency, maybe even their trauma. You've been the one trying to hold everything together while they get to just exist however they want. The universe is showing me through this card that you've been in a position where you're doing the emotional labor for two people, and honestly, that's exhausting. I'm seeing late-night texts where you're the one always checking in, always making sure they're okay, always being available even when they're not there for you in the same way. What's coming through really strongly with this Ten of Wands is that divine protection sometimes looks like exhaustion. Stay with me here because this is important. Sometimes the universe protects us by making the burden so heavy that we literally can't carry it anymore. It's not punishment, it's protection. Because if this connection was easy, if it didn't weigh on you this much, you might stay in it forever without questioning if it's actually good for you. The universe is making you feel the weight, so you'll eventually put it down. I'm also getting with this card that there's been a lot of responsibility that isn't yours to carry. Like maybe you've been trying to fix them, save them, change them, or convince them of your worth. And the divine protection here is that all of this effort is actually showing you a pattern. It's revealing to you that real love shouldn't feel this heavy. Real connection shouldn't require you to exhaust yourself just to maintain it. Now, the second card that came through is the Seven of Swords, and Aries. This is where things get really real. This card is literally about deception, about things happening behind your back, about information being withheld. And I need you to trust your gut on this because I'm getting that there's been some sneaky energy around this person. Maybe you've had that feeling in your stomach that something wasn't quite right, but you couldn't put your finger on it. Maybe there were stories that didn't add up, times when they disappeared and the explanation felt off, or moments where your intuition was screaming at you but you chose to ignore it. The Seven of Swords is showing me that divine protection has been working through your intuition this entire time. Every single time you felt that little ping of doubt, every time something felt off, every time you questioned their honesty or their intentions, that was the universe trying to protect you. That was your spiritual team basically putting up red flags and saying, pay attention. Something here isn't aligned with your highest good. What's really striking about this card in your reading is that it's not just about lies. It's about strategy. The Seven of Swords often represents someone who is calculated in their approach, someone who knows exactly what they're doing when they're withholding truth or manipulating situations. I'm getting that this person might have been really good at making you doubt your own perceptions. Like when you'd bring something up that bothered you, they'd flip it around or make you feel like you were being too sensitive or too demanding. That's a tactic, Aries, and the universe sees it clearly even if you've been in the fog. Here's what divine protection looks like with the Seven of Swords. Every time they tried to deceive you and you felt that uncomfortable feeling, that was protection. Every time you almost found out something but didn't quite get the full picture yet, the universe was preparing you, building your awareness slowly so the truth wouldn't completely devastate you all at once. Sometimes divine timing means revealing things layer by layer so you can integrate each truth and become stronger, rather than having everything crash down on you. Simultaneously, I'm also picking up that the Seven of Swords is indicating that you've been protected from seeing the full extent of what this person is really about because you weren't ready yet. And that might sound strange, but think about it. If you had known everything from the beginning, it might have broken you in a way that you couldn't recover from quickly. The universe has been giving you breadcrumbs of truth, strengthening you with each revelation so that when you finally see the complete picture, you'll be strong enough to walk away without looking back. The third card is the Nine of Pentacles. And honestly, Aries, this card made me smile when it came out because it's such a beautiful message about who you really are and what you're actually worthy of. The Nine of Pentacles is all about independence, luxury, self-sufficiency, and knowing your worth. This card is showing me a version of you that exists beyond this person. A version where you're thriving on your own, where you're abundant, where you're at peace in your own energy. What's coming through with this card is that part of the divine protection is reminding you of your own value. See, when we're caught up with someone who doesn't treat us right, we can start to forget who we are. We can start to shrink ourselves, lower our standards, accept less than we deserve. But the Nine of Pentacles is the universe basically holding up a mirror and saying, remember who you are. Remember what you bring to the table. Remember that you're the prize here, not them. I'm getting that this card is showing you a future that's waiting for you, but you can only step into it if you're willing to release what's holding you back. The Nine of Pentacles energy is about cultivating your own garden, literally and metaphorically. It's about investing in yourself, your growth, your peace, your happiness. And the divine protection here is that the universe is actually blocking this person from fully entering your life in a committed way because they would disrupt the abundance and peace you're meant to experience. Think about it like this. The Nine of Pentacles person doesn't need someone else to complete them. They don't need validation from someone who's inconsistent. They don't need to beg for attention or affection. And that's who you're becoming, Aries, or maybe that's who you've always been, but you forgot for a minute while you were focused on this connection. Divine protection sometimes means keeping someone at a distance, so you remember your own power, so you reclaim your independence, so you realize you don't actually need them at all. What's also beautiful about this card is that it's showing me financial and material stability in your future that has nothing to do with this person. I'm getting that you're being protected from a situation that could have drained you in more ways than just emotionally. Maybe this person would have been financially irresponsible. Maybe they would have held you back from opportunities. Maybe they would have made you small when you're meant to expand. The universe is preserving your resources, your energy, your time, and your potential for something so much better. Now we have the Devil card. And I know this card can seem scary, but stay with me, because what it's revealing is actually a blessing in disguise. The Devil card is about bondage, addiction, toxic patterns, and unhealthy attachments. And Aries, this is the universe showing you exactly why you needed to be protected from this person. This card is revealing that this connection had the potential to become something that would trap you, something that would keep you stuck in cycles that don't serve your highest good. What I'm picking up with the Devil is that there's been an almost addictive quality to this connection. Like even when you know it's not good for you, even when you know you should walk away, there's something that keeps pulling you back. Maybe it's the physical chemistry. Maybe it's the way they make you feel in certain moments. Maybe it's the hope that they'll change. Or maybe it's just the familiarity of the pattern. But the Devil is showing me that this isn't love. This is attachment. And there's a huge difference. The divine protection with the Devil card is that the universe has been creating circumstances that prevent this connection from deepening into something you couldn't easily escape from. Every time they pulled away, every time things didn't work out, every time there was distance or separation, that was the universe loosening the chains before they became too tight. Because here's the thing about the Devil energy. It's seductive. It makes you think you want something that's actually harming you. It makes you believe you need someone who's actually toxic for you. I'm also getting that the Devil card is showing shadow, aspects of this person that you might not have fully seen yet or that you've been making excuses for. Maybe there's controlling behavior masked as caring. Maybe there's manipulation disguised as passion. Maybe there's possessiveness that you mistook for love. The Devil is about those shadow sides, those darker aspects that would have eventually consumed the relationship and consumed you if you had gotten in too deep. What's really profound about this card appearing in a reading about divine protection is that it's showing you that sometimes we need to be saved from our own desires. Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually aligned with our soul's path. You might have prayed for this person, manifested this connection, wanted this relationship more than anything. But your higher self, your spirit guides, the universe, they could see what you couldn't. They could see the potential for this to become something that would dim your light rather than amplify it. The Tower card is next. And oh my goodness, Aries, this is such a powerful confirmation of divine protection. The Tower is about sudden upheaval, structures collapsing, truth being revealed in ways that shake your entire foundation. And what this card is telling me is that you've been protected from a massive tower moment that would have happened if this relationship had progressed. Here's what I'm seeing with the Tower. If you had gotten what you wanted with this person, if things had worked out the way you hoped, if they had committed or if the relationship had deepened, there would have been a catastrophic breakdown down the line. I'm talking about the kind of ending that doesn't just hurt, it destroys. The kind of betrayal or revelation that makes you question everything you believed about love, about yourself, about your judgment. The universe has been protecting you from that level of devastation. The divine protection with the Tower is preventative. It's like the universe looked at all the possible timelines and said, we need to intervene before this gets to the point of no return. Every obstacle that appeared in this connection, every time things fell apart before they really began, every disappointment and letdown, those were small towers preventing the big one. Those were controlled demolitions saving you from total destruction. What's coming through really strongly is that this person has Tower energy in their life or in their character, meaning there's chaos that follows them, there's destruction in their wake, there's instability that's core to who they are right now, and you are being guided away from becoming collateral damage in their Tower moment. Maybe they have unresolved trauma they haven't dealt with. Maybe they have patterns of sabotage that ruin every relationship. Maybe they have secrets or a lifestyle that would eventually implode. Whatever it is, the universe saw it coming and created distance between you and the blast radius. I'm also getting that the Tower in this reading is about the illusions you've been holding about this person or this connection being shattered. And that shattering is protection because it's forcing you to see clearly. It's removing the rose-colored glasses. It's demolishing the fantasy so you can see the reality. And yes, that's painful. Yes, it feels like everything you believed is crumbling. But what's being destroyed are lies, not truth. What's collapsing is illusion, not genuine connection. And from those ruins, you'll build something so much more authentic and aligned with who you really are. The Three of Wands appears next, and this is where the energy starts to shift into something more hopeful. The Three of Wands is about looking toward the horizon, about planning for the future, about opportunities that are coming, about expansion and growth. And Aries, this card is showing me that the divine protection you've been experiencing isn't just about keeping you away from this person. It's about preparing you for something so much better. What I'm picking up with the Three of Wands is that while you've been focused on this connection, while you've been trying to make it work, while you've been hoping and waiting and wondering, the universe has been setting up something incredible for your future. There are opportunities coming your way that you would have missed if you were entangled with this person. There are people you're meant to meet that you wouldn't have space for if you were still trying to force something that wasn't meant to be. The Three of Wands is also about having vision and perspective. It's about being able to see beyond your current circumstances to what's possible. And the divine protection here is that you're being elevated to a vantage point where you can finally see that this person was actually blocking your view. They were standing in front of all the amazing possibilities that the universe has lined up for you. And by creating distance, by preventing this from becoming what you thought you wanted, the universe is actually clearing your line of sight so you can see what's really available to you. I'm also getting with this card that travel or distance or expansion into new territories is part of your protected path forward. Maybe you're being guided to physically move, to explore new places, to expand your life in ways that wouldn't have been possible if you were tied to this person. Or maybe it's more metaphorical, about expanding your emotional horizons, your spiritual understanding, your sense of what you deserve and what you're capable of creating. What's beautiful about the Three of Wands energy is that it's confident. It's assured. It's someone who has worked hard, planted seeds, and now stands watching those seeds grow with faith that abundance is coming. That's the energy the universe is protecting for you, Aries. That's the state of being you're being guided toward. And this person, with all their chaos and inconsistency and unavailability, would have pulled you away from that elevated state. They would have kept you in the weeds instead of on the mountaintop. The King of Cups comes through next. And this is really interesting because it's showing me the energy of emotional maturity, of someone who has mastered their feelings, of balanced masculine energy that knows how to nurture and protect without controlling or possessing. And Aries, I believe this card is showing you what's actually meant for you versus what you were settling for. Here's what the King of Cups is revealing. The person you've been focused on is not emotionally mature enough for you. They're not at the King of Cups level of emotional intelligence and stability, and the divine protection is that the universe is refusing to let you lower your standards to match their emotional immaturity. You're being protected from investing your deep, feeling, caring, loving energy into someone who doesn't have the capacity to honor it, reciprocate it, or even understand it. What I'm picking up is that the King of Cups represents the level of emotional availability and depth that you actually need in a partner. This is someone who can communicate their feelings clearly. This is someone who doesn't run from emotional intimacy. This is someone who has done their healing work and can show up consistently. And by keeping you away from someone who isn't at this level, the universe is essentially saying, we're saving you for someone who is. The King of Cups is also about intuition and psychic ability and deep emotional wisdom. And I'm getting that you have this energy within you, Aries. You're emotionally intelligent. You're empathetic. You're deep. And the person you were dealing with couldn't match that depth, couldn't appreciate it, couldn't even access it within themselves. The divine protection is preventing you from dimming your emotional light to make someone else comfortable with their emotional darkness. I'm also seeing with this card that there's a mature, stable, emotionally available person coming into your life, but they can't enter while you're still energetically entangled with someone who represents the opposite of these qualities. The King of Cups is patient, but he won't compete. He won't try to convince you of his worth while you're still focused on someone who doesn't value you. So the universe is creating space, clearing the path, protecting your energy so that when this King of Cups energy does arrive in physical form, you're ready to recognize it and receive it. The Four of Pentacles appears, and this card is so revealing about the energy of the person you've been dealing with. The Four of Pentacles is about holding on too tight, about being closed off, about fear of loss leading to control and possessiveness, about someone who hoards resources, whether that's emotional, financial, or energetic. And Aries, this is showing me exactly why divine protection was necessary. What's coming through with the Four of Pentacles is that this person has a scarcity mindset. They operate from fear rather than love. They hold back rather than give freely. And I'm seeing that even in moments where it seemed like they were opening up or letting you in, there was always this holding back, this reservation, this part of themselves they wouldn't share. Maybe they were guarded about their past, secretive about their present, unclear about their future. Maybe they could never fully commit, never fully trust, never fully surrender to the connection. The divine protection with this card is that you're being saved from a relationship where you would always feel like you're not getting enough. Not enough attention, not enough affection, not enough communication, not enough commitment. The Four of Pentacles person gives in drops when you need an ocean. They offer crumbs when you deserve a feast. And the universe loves you too much to let you starve in a connection with someone who's emotionally and energetically stingy. I'm also picking up that the Four of Pentacles is showing fear-based relating. This person's inability to be open and generous in the connection comes from deep fear. Fear of vulnerability, fear of being hurt, fear of losing control, fear of intimacy. And while you might have compassion for that fear, while you might have wanted to help them heal it, the divine protection is that it's not your job to fix someone else's fear at the expense of your own needs and happiness. What's also interesting about this card is that it can represent someone who's stuck, who's not growing, who's clinging to old patterns and old wounds and old ways of being. And you, Aries, you're meant for expansion, for growth, for evolution. Being tied to someone who's stuck would have eventually made you feel trapped too. The universe is protecting your growth by not allowing you to be anchored to someone who refuses to grow with you. The Eight of Wands comes flying in, and I literally mean flying because this is one of the fastest cards in the deck. This is about rapid movement, swift changes, things happening quickly, messages coming through, clarity arriving suddenly. And in the context of divine protection, this is such a hopeful card because it's showing me that once you fully release this person energetically, once you stop trying to make this work, once you surrender to the divine protection that's been operating in your life, things are going to move fast. What the Eight of Wands is telling me is that you've been in a holding pattern with this person. Everything has felt slow, unclear, stuck. But that stagnation was actually protection. It was the universe's way of preventing forward momentum in a direction that wasn't aligned with your highest path. And now, as you step away from this connection, As you trust the divine guidance you've been receiving, you're going to experience rapid shifts and movement in the right direction. I'm seeing with this card that new opportunities in love are coming swiftly once you clear this energy. Like you won't have time to sit around missing this person or wondering what could have been, because the universe is going to immediately show you what's actually meant for you. New people, new situations, new possibilities are going to start appearing so quickly that you'll barely have time to process it all. And that rapid movement is part of the divine protection because it doesn't give you time to backslide, or second guess or romanticize what you're leaving behind. The Eight of Wands is also about communication and messages. And I'm getting that there may be some communication coming that provides clarity or closure or confirmation about why this protection was necessary. Maybe you'll hear something through the grapevine. Maybe they'll reveal something themselves. Maybe you'll just receive a download of understanding that makes everything make sense. But whatever form it takes, it's going to be clear and it's going to be quick and it's going to remove any remaining doubts you had about the divine intervention in this situation. What's beautiful about this card is that it represents alignment. When the Eight of Wands appears, it means all the elements are coming together, all the delays are lifting, all the obstacles are clearing. You're entering a phase of divine flow where the universe is actively supporting your forward movement. And that support was always there, but it was holding you back from the wrong thing, so it could propel you toward the right thing. The final card in this reading is the Tower. And wait, we already had the Tower earlier. So let me pull what actually came as the 10th card. It's the Tower again, which is incredibly significant. When a card appears twice in a reading, the universe is really emphasizing that message. But looking at my notes, the actual 10th card is the Tower, again showing the intensity of divine intervention here. But let me check the list. Actually, the 10th card based on the positions given is number 17, which is the Tower. This repetition is so important, Aries. Actually, let me correct myself. Looking at the specific card positions requested, the 10th card would be position 17, which is the Tower in the major arcana. So we have this Tower energy appearing very strongly, which tells me that the protective destruction, the necessary upheaval, the divine intervention that prevents disaster is the core theme of this entire reading. With the Tower appearing in this prominent position, what I'm getting is that the entire structure of how you've been viewing this connection needs to come down. Not slowly, not gradually, but completely and suddenly. And that's not a tragedy, that's divine mercy. Because holding on to something that's not meant for you is like holding on to a building that's on fire. The Tower comes in and forces you to let go before you burn with it. The divine protection message with the Tower in this final position is clear and absolute. You are being saved from catastrophic heartbreak. You are being rescued from a situation that would have damaged you in ways you can't even imagine right now. You are being pulled back from the edge of something that looked like love, but was actually destruction, disguised in attractive packaging. And here's what I need you to understand, Aries. The Tower isn't punishing you. The Tower is liberating you. Yes, it's painful to watch your hopes crumble. Yes, it's hard to accept that what you wanted isn't what's good for you. Yes, it feels like loss when really it's salvation. But on the other side of this Tower moment is freedom. On the other side of this destruction is a blank slate where you can build something real, something healthy, something that actually honors who you are and what you deserve. So let me bring all of this together for you because the message is so clear. Are you being divinely protected from this person? Absolutely yes. The protection has been operating through exhaustion that makes you too tired to keep trying, through intuitive hits that something isn't right, through reminders of your own worth and independence, through revealing the toxic patterns that would have trapped you, through preventing the relationship from deepening to a point where the inevitable ending would destroy you, through showing you better horizons and possibilities, through holding space for the emotionally mature love you actually deserve, through protecting you from someone who operates from fear and scarcity, through preparing rapid movement in a better direction, and through forcing the complete destruction of illusions so you can see truth. Every delay was protection. Every disappointment was redirection. Every moment of confusion was the universe scrambling your signals so you wouldn't go further down the wrong path. Every time they pulled away or things fell apart or you felt that distance, that was divine hands gently but firmly steering you away from disaster. And I know this might be hard to hear. I know part of you might still want this person, might still hope they'll change, might still wonder what if. But Aries, your spirit guides are literally begging you to trust this protection. They're showing you through these cards that what you thought you wanted would have ultimately broken you. And they love you too much to let that happen. The universe isn't keeping something good from you. The universe is keeping something harmful away from you. And in that space, in that clearing, in that emptiness that might feel lonely right now, something beautiful is being prepared. Someone who can match your depth, your passion, your loyalty, your love. Someone who doesn't need to be protected from, but who actually protects you, honors you, chooses you consistently. So if you're watching this and you've been struggling with this person, if you've been trying to make sense of why things never work out, if you've been fighting against all the signs that this isn't right, please hear this message. Stop fighting the protection. Stop resisting the divine intervention. Stop trying to force open a door that the universe is holding closed for your own good. Trust that what's falling apart is supposed to fall apart. Trust that what's not working is not meant to work. Trust that the love you're seeking exists, but it exists somewhere else with someone else who's actually ready and worthy and capable of receiving and reciprocating what you offer.